YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be sharing with you all a flip through of my first ever physical bullet journal. This one ran from July to December, and it's a minimalism art notebook from Amazon. It runs for about $15. It's on 120 GSM cream paper, so it's pretty quality for the price, and I'm excited to get into it. So for July, I decided to do a Broadway theme, and rainbow goals were supposed to represent one goal from each category of my life. So I believe that red was supposed to represent any academic goals, and then orange for friends, light green for relationship, dark green for family, blue for health, purple for work, pink for anything fun, and black for chores. This spread is dedicated to Dreamgirls, which is pretty much one of my favorite Broadway soundtracks of all time, if not my favorite. And I really like the Dutch door spread that I used here. I used it a couple more times throughout the month. This is the period that everyone was either baking or watching Hamilton. Oh my god, the hairspray spread. I love hairspray so much, but I didn't have a good peach Crayola super tip, so they ended up very pink, and this is a problem that I struggled with whenever I drew humans for a while. Now I pretty much just use a peach colored pencil for that skin tone. Legally Blonde is also one of my favorite musicals. I mean, they pretty much all are, but this is a musical I saw before the movie. I fell in love with the Waitress soundtrack so much this year, and I'm really happy with how the diner menu Dutch door spreads turned out. Sarah Bareilles has been one of my favorite singers ever since middle school, and kind of one of my biggest musical influences too, I would say. So this next spread is based on a musical that I saw this year. It's a Filipino musical called Ang Huling El Bimbo, which features songs all by the 90s rock band The Eraserheads. They were one of my favorite bands growing up, listening to music with my dad, and I really fell in love with this musical. So this month is dedicated to my cat Miswa. We had just taken her in June, 2 months before, so she was just a little baby kitten at this time. So September is definitely the shortest month in this journal. I was watching a lot of SpongeBob on Amazon Prime during August. I think I even finished the first 2 or 3 seasons in full. I just love SpongeBob so much. I was just really proud here of how my colored Pilot Sheet 2s really blended in with the colors that I used for this month. Oh yeah, so here I wanted to note that I personally like to redo my future log every 3 months, just because events pile up and stuff like that. So I will, for example, this was October, I set the dates for November through April. So this was around the time that I started watching the Fruits Basket anime on Hulu. I actually watched the English dub version because the Japanese subtitled version wasn't available. But if you are pretty into manga and anime, then if you're like me, you probably read Fruits Basket when you were in 5th or 6th grade. It was definitely one of the first manga or anime that I was ever exposed to, so I was really excited when the new series was released in 2019. October also happens to be Filipino American History Month, so for this month I had put together a list of all the books I wanted to read by Filipino authors. And then I was also kind of really getting into drinking tea, kind of trying to wean myself away from coffee as a source of caffeine. So I organized this tea guide by the nutritional benefit and then by type. So on the left-hand side, if I needed to wake up or de-stress, I would kind of reference this, or if I just wanted to drink a certain tea, I would try to figure out what benefits it gave me. So here I used a faux Dutch door rolling weekly, which is directly inspired by Plant-Based Bride. Basically, there are always 8 sections in my weekly, which is the 7 days of the week, plus a section for weekly tasks, which are just tasks that don't have any due date, but that I want to get done by the end of the week. And then for November, this month's theme was just loosely based on Positions. Positions, the Ariana Grande album, she had released this sort of color palette for her Positions single release, so I was just really getting excited for the album during this time. And I made a whole spread dedicated to each of my favorite lyrics from her songs after I listened to the album. So as you can see, I kind of got lazy with my weeklies here. There wasn't too much going on in November, so I just 2 pieces of washi tape, vertical and horizontal. Yeah, it really doesn't take much to bullet journal, materials-wise. And then for December, I just went with a full-on wintry Christmas theme. So I used a lot of like holly, pine cones, and just a bunch of my Christmas washi tape since it's the only time I can use it anyways. Okay, so we're finally getting close to the end. Since I had a lot of extra pages left in my bullet journal, I wanted to feature my Spotify Wrapped. So I listened mostly to Ariana Grande, Jhené Aiko, and Dua Lipa. Some honorable mentions include Nicki, Kehlani, and the whole Waitress album. I gotta say, I was really proud of the Christmas light border that I had created for this spread. Here I decided to make a spread for my top 8 books of 2020. You can go ahead and add me on Goodreads. It's linked in my About part of my channel. And that'll pretty much bring us to the end, just with my annual reflections pages. Alright, so that is it from me. As you can see, I ended up moving into my backyard to film. I just couldn't resist the sunny weather today, which is weird for January in California. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and if you have any questions about my bullet journal, just leave them in the comments below. Bye, take care.